Wubba everyone. So, episode 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This was definitely, my girlfriend even texted me earlier today, because she's not here at the moment, so we're watching independently. She liked the first episode. She wasn't loving it. This episode definitely upped the game for her, and I gotta agree, this was definitely a step up from the previous episode, which I very much liked, by the way. But no, if you're gonna ask me which episode you think was better, oh no, it was this episode. The balancing act that Marvel seems to be able to do with their TV series and their movies, but particularly right now with their TV series. I mean, we've only got the two: WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Falcon and Winter Soldier is only a third of the way done. Think of it. It's only a third of the way. It's a third of the way done. But no. I mean, we get the introduction of the new Captain America Walker. We get the introduction of the Flag Smashers officially. We learn that they're super soldier enhanced. They're super soldier. They have a version of the serum. Isaiah, a super soldier from the Korean War. We got dealt with issues of racism. We got issues of responsibility. I mean, they just did such a damn good job on this episode, I thought. And obviously, we get Zemo next episode, which is gonna be fun. I'll start on what I thought of the U.S. agent, the Walker character. I thought, he's obviously not immediately based off the comic one, who isn't a villain either. But he's, well, he does have a bit of a punchable face, and maybe just because his nose, I think it's the nose, honestly. His nose doesn't work with that helmet. They make him out to be a likable guy. Like, he's a model soldier. He's a model American, honestly. You know, he's just trying to do his part and all that. But at the same time, if from Bucky and Sam's point of view, he took up the mantle of the Shield. He took up the name, took on the suit of both their best friends. Makes sense why they would have a lot of animosity towards him. Yeah, he's just trying his best to be, offer a hand and, helping them, trying to work together, trying to, be, trying to be a nice guy, basically. And just like, hey, look, I didn't want, I know I'm not trying to be Steve. And, he makes a point of saying that in Good Morning America, which he kept practicing that. I do find that humorous. It's like, Good Morning America, because he's on Good Morning America, and then they go into his, his history. So I did like that a lot. I will say though, his Battlestar, his buddy, yeah, he's a bit punchable. They're both kind of punchable in a certain way, and a lot of people are now expecting is there going to be a heel turn with this character, because with U.S. Agent, his morals and ideals were not the same as Steve's, so he ended up being a very different type of character, a different type of captain, if you will, than Steve did. I'm inclined to think that's the case. Now, one thing a lot of people I've heard are thinking about is whether or not he's the one who basically said, "You took what was mine. I'm going to kill you." We know it's not Zemo because he's in jail. So who was it? Is that Walker? Did Walker want the serums that they had? Clearly, because that's clearly what it must have been, like types of super soldier serums. Maybe. I've heard also theories that, and I was actually thinking this too until I heard the theory, that Sam might end up getting a thing of the super soldier serum as well. Don't know about that, but that might be interesting. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the problem is that with Steve as the symbol he was back in the 40s. Yes, it made 30s and 40s. It made sense that he'd, was like, hey there, how you doing there? Oh, I'll be outside, haha. But as he came out of the ice and actually fought the war and stuff like that, he was much more matured. He wasn't the whole, like, oh, don't you do this or that, this, although he did do the PSAs from Spider-Man Homecoming, so maybe I'm dead wrong on this. But at the same time, besides doing the PSA, he never really flaunted or used the authority that his position as Captain America really gave him. So the fact that he said, "Oh, yeah, got you out of prison. Oh, we'll be outside." I don't know. I was trying to think. It's like, what tone? What was that tone he was using? Remind me of. And like, it's weird to say, it gave me a Zap Brannigan vibe. Am I off on that completely, or did someone else get a Zap Brannigan vibe? Kip, come on, we're gonna go save the day for America. Uh, well, we failed to save America, but I did make it with a hot Skrull babe. And is that not what man has dreamt of since they first landed on this planet? Battlestar, I'm asking you a question. Am I wrong in thinking there was a little bit of that vibe there when he came into the jail and got him out of jail? That's where I got the vibe. But I mean, one of the big things here is probably the big thing here is Sam and Bucky, and obviously those two. I love their dynamic. Ever since we got it in Captain America: Civil War, it's their dynamic works. I love the fact that when he brought up he's read The Hobbit when it first came out in like 1930 something. It's like, wait, Gandalf, you know Gandalf? It's like, yeah, I read The Hobbit back in I think it said 1937 when it first came out in 1937. It's like, yeah, it's like, it could be aliens. What was it? Aliens, androids, or oh god, what's the one of the big three? Aliens, androids, and I can't remember because I think they all began with A's. Oh god, aliens, androids, wizards. I'm guessing. Someone say now Dark Strange is a sorcerer. Sorcerer is just a wizard without a hat. He actually sees Bucky. I just gotta stop and think on that one for a second. Oh, that was great. He just jumps out of there. I recorded all that, right? But I also like how it's like, actually it's White Wolf. It's like, wait, what? But then for all that humor we got, we also got a lot of great drama, like really hard hitting stuff. When we meet Isaiah, and the minute he talked about that, we're in that neighborhood. I'm like, oh, we're gonna meet Isaiah, aren't we? I was like, fucking sweet. I love that too. It's just like, last time it's like, you remember me? I remember kicking your ass. It's like, yeah, Bucky got his ass kicked by this guy. He lost part of his arm. I'm like, yeah. But at the same time, when he loses temper, he throws, I think he was like a tin or something, or a flask, and he embeds in the walls. Like, even though he's old, he's still a super soldier. And that implies to me that Old Man Cap, if he needed to, also, if we by chance see him in this series, which is not likely, but possible, could still kick someone's ass too if he needed to, which I think is awesome. No, that's not the last we've seen of Isaiah. That's not the last. You don't introduce him like that. And he's actually a pretty prominent, not a prominent character, but he's an important character. I believe his grandson becomes, Star Spangled, something like that. He becomes a Young Avenger. So I'm sure that's not the last we've seen him. We're going to see Isaiah again. But yeah, it's unfortunate where that our history, and it's mirrors real life, that a lot of our heroes, the heroes of this country, do not get honored. Some of them really get the shaft, just because of politics or the color of their skin. Like our country has not been kind to the African American community, the Black community, to the Asian community, to most communities. Hell, even though it's weird to say, even the white community in the beginnings of America were not treated well, because think of the Irish, the Italians, Polish, unless you were from England, even the white people got the shaft for a while. Now, obviously that changed, and we then became, the country became a lot more focused. Like, oh, no, if you're not white, now that's the problem. And they don't shy away from it in this series, but they're also not beating it over your head. They're handling it very well, I think. They're being very respectful towards it without making it the focal point of the series. Because that's not the focal point of the series, but it's an issue that the series is addressing, and is addressing it, I think, in a very appropriate way. Because then you get that confrontation with the cops in the street with Bucky and Sam, who they're having an argument. And they immediately just a target lock on Sam. Obviously, it's a predominantly black neighborhood, and he's a black guy. And Bucky's the one who's got to get in his face, stand up, and like the cop has his hand on his gun, and Sam's just like, what the hell? I don't have an idea, man. No, I'm not going to calm down. And Bucky finally goes, you know who this is? And then the guy actually goes, and immediately it's one. He's like, oh shit, this is the Falcon. Now here's the thing. Is that like, oh, I'm going to just go up against the black? He's black. Oh, he's the problem. Is like, because I hate black people. It's not racism in that sense, but it's racism because that's how they're trained. It's like, they're in their communities, like they're told, oh no, the black people are going to be the more problematic. They're going to be raising more issues. So they're just, cops are trained that way. And again, I've seen a lot of people come in, it's like, that was a very real scene for a lot of people. Like if one of my, I have one of my friends, but it's like, I got that one friend. That sounded a lot worse than I stopped myself. I have a friend who I feel like if she watched it would also be getting that vibe. Like that's a very real scene for her. Actually, next time because I'm probably going to see her either tomorrow or Sunday, I'll ask her if she's watching the series. Because I have a feeling she'd really like this. I mean, it's only 2 episodes in, but I get a feeling she'd actually really like this series and how it's really, it's tackling some issues. Again, it's not the focus of the series, but I actually really like the fact they're addressing this. But yeah, I mean, I do want to address, there is a scene, the scene in therapy I want to address last. But I want to address the Flag Smashers, honestly. Now, I'm trying to remember. I think that actress, the redhead, she was in Solo, I believe. She was the leader of Crimson Dawn, I'm not mistaken. They need to answer if these guys, how much of a super soldier these guys are. Because I was like wondering, it's like, okay, who is this character? But now, okay, the Flag Smashers, they're all super soldiers? Okay, first off, how did they get the serum? How strong are they? Because Bucky even had some trouble with them, but ultimately was able to handle himself. In a one-on-one fight, Bucky can handle any one of these guys because they're all just kids, not soldiers. He's a soldier with a vibranium arm. But the whole idea of the Flag Smashers is that they want to return things back to the way it was during the blip. And I get... Because I'm one of the people, I don't obviously agree with what Thanos did, but I understand what Thanos did because when you actually look at what happened in the context of the MCU, yeah, maybe people were, depressed and, governments were in array and stuff like that. But when you look at like the planet and the life and all that, it's like, Steve even made a point when he saw the whales in the harbor and even below it was like, in the Hudson, it's like, well, water's cleaner, less ships. It's like, yeah, it's like when you think about there was all that turmoil, everything. It's like everything on was in chaos. But if you're talking about the actual planet itself, and eventually, humanity would recover from that, and then the blip happened, and then the people came back and it caused even more chaos. But Thanos' plan ultimately it worked. As effed up as it is, when you look at what happened in the MCU. Thanos' plan worked. So, and these people clearly saw the effects of that and saw that the world itself, not necessarily the people in it, keep that in mind, but the world itself, nature, all that, was better off without what happened. It's one of those things where you can see how these kind of groups would form in such an environment. But what I'm not liking, quite frankly, is the arrogance. Like, the arrogance to think that the world ultimately was better. Let me put it this way. Even though I just said that when you look at it, yeah, Thanos technically was right. Technically. They looked at it and says, like, yeah, the world was better, but they're not taking into consideration, okay, so what are you going to do? You're going to just wipe out half the population again? That's the thing, is like, if you want things to go back to the way they were, I want a confrontation with these little punks. Because, honestly, that's what they are. They're idealistic kids. And one of them sacrificed their lives for this dumb cause. Because ultimately, what it breaks down to is, the only way, are you going to release a virus? Is that what it is? Maybe they're going to release a virus and wipe out half of humanity? Like, freaking, what was it? Inferno. I believe it Clancy Brown novels, the Da Vinci Code novels. It was Da Vinci Code, Angel Demons, Inferno. That was basically the plot of that. And I think that plot. I'm like, that plot was dumb. You made a virus. Yeah, it was only going to target this, but viruses fucking mutate. That's a bad move. And it's like this. Is that their plan? Because I want like Bucky to just be like have particularly the girl. And it's not that the girl's a bad actress. I actually liked her a lot. But it's like, I want this girl, because she's clearly kind of the leader. Be like, her and Bucky get into a fight, and he owns her in the fight. I want that to happen, because honestly, let's be honest, 1-on-1, he's beaten any of these guys in an actual straight fight. But it's like, no, she explains, like, no, it's better. It's like, okay, then. He just puts the gun in her hand, just puts it, like, pull the trigger. Pull it. You want to put it back away? You're going to have to take out half the population again. I'll be the first one. I'll be your martyr. Come on, do it. And I want her to be like, what? It's like, no, it's not so easy when the blood's on your freaking hands. When you see the people, sorry, is it easier when you're removed from it? I want someone to confront them like that. I want a confrontation like that. Because I think that would be a fantastic scene. Very similar, good segue to what I think was probably the best scene in the episode, or maybe not the best scene, because honestly, that Isaiah scene was really good. It's in contention for the best scene. The scene where they're in therapy. Now, I heard some people say it did come off a little awkward. I think that's the point. Though I also heard someone say, I want to see the outtakes, because you could tell they were probably holding in the laughs, and I can also agree with that. They do look like they were trying to hold it. But that scene where it's like, okay, you do the soul stare. It's like, okay, I do like the fact they have to cross. Like, okay, well, I love this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Are you guys doing a staring contest right now? And Bucky, and finally she gets Bucky actually opens up. Like, this is the first time we've really heard, like, he was dodging, like, his therapist's questions in the first episode, but in the second episode, he finally kind of opens up on what's kind of bugging him. And Sam's just like, what? She's like, what's wrong? It's like, why'd you give up the shield? And it was like, why can't, say he gave it to you. He believed in you. Why can't everyone just stop and think that maybe what I was doing what I thought was right? And then Bucky gives that line. If he was, that makes he was, if he was wrong to give you a shield, that means he was wrong about you. And if he was wrong about you, that means he was wrong about me. That means he might have been wrong about me. That maybe I can't be saved. Maybe like. And the way he played off, you could just see, like, this is Bucky for the first time really letting some of his anger out, letting some of his emotions out. And I'm going to be honest, Sam played that as an ass. Like, Sam actually sees Bucky there actually vulnerable for a change. And he just plays it off as being an ass. And we know Sam's going to end up with the shield either during the series or by the end of the series. But the thing about that, for me, is I need a conversation with someone confronting Sam. It's like that line. He says, "Why can't anyone accept?" Or I can't remember the exact line, but it's like, "Why can't people just stop and accept the fact that I was doing what I thought was right?" I want someone to just call out and say, "That's bullshit. It's bullshit. Cap gave the shield to you to pass it on to you, and you gave it away. Thought you're doing is right. You're not doing what. You're not living up. You're basically it's like you gave it. He put his trust in you." You gave it up because you were scared. What were you afraid? Why did you think it was the right thing? Basically, if the therapist had actually questioned him on that, it's like, if Cap had given the shield to you, why did you think it was the right thing to give it up? That's the thing. Is that Sam is scared and he does not want to admit it, and I want someone to call him out on that. And there's like a bunch of scenes that with I think it's Yori is the old man's name, Bucky's friend. I want someone to confront. I can't wait for that scene where he basically tells him, "I killed your son." Someone calling Sam out on that. Hopefully, a scene where these little shits get what's coming to him in terms of like a confrontation with Bucky or Sam. So ultimately, and that fight sequence, by the way, was really good on the trucks. A little shaky, I'll admit that, but nothing like terrible. But yeah, ultimately, no, I really like this episode. This is definitely the best episode of the two so far. Hopefully they can keep building this momentum, because this is honestly, I'm loving what Marvel's doing right now, because they're delving into things we didn't think of. Dealing with grief and pain in WandaVision. I still that fantastic line. What is grief if not love persevering? That's such a fucking good line. Oh, man, and then this one, and then the line here is like, if he was wrong about you, that means he might have been wrong about me. He was wrong about me. Like that, damn. Just good stuff Marvel's doing. So that's my thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier, episode 2. I noticed that I don't think these ones are titled, if I'm not mistaken, unlike WandaVision was. But either way, doesn't matter that much. Till then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, who wants to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. That's about it. I'm just going to pre-record my videos for tomorrow, and then I'll be good. So, later.